Hey everyone, welcome back to Python Beginner Series. Today we are going to talk about modules in Python. So let's say that we have the three functions here to convert the three currencies, to convert between the three currencies, USD, Euro, and GBP. So the USD to Euro function here will take USD amount as an input, and then it will multiply it with the exchange rate of USD Euro, and then in the output, it will give us the euro amount. So this works fine. We know how to call this function. We just have to give the function name followed by parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis, whatever input this function takes. So if this function takes 100 as an input, let's say the amount is $100. In euros, that would be 91 euros. So this works. But what if we want to use the same functions in another project? So I'm working on one more project and I want to use the exact same functions there. So can I go ahead and call this function USD to euro here like this? Can I do this? Will this work? The answer is no. It will give you name error, that the name USD to euro is not defined. There doesn't exist a name called USD to euro in this particular Jupyter notebook. Then how do we use the same functions in a new project? Copy paste will work. If I just copy it here and I'll go ahead and paste it. And then if I call this works. But this is pretty inefficient. So just think of a scenario wherein you need to make some changes or update these exchange rates every day. Then you have to do it at all the places where you are using this function. Wherever this function is defined in all of your projects, you need to go ahead and update this amount. So wouldn't it be better if we can write these functions once and reuse them wherever we need? Reference the same function in different or multiple projects. And that's exactly what modules help us do. Reuse the functions. So what is a module? Module is a Python file. So module is a Python file. It should have .py extension and it contains functions. It can have set of functions. Generally, these functions are of similar nature. They do similar kind of things. Then we have variables and classes. So we have not seen classes yet. We will be discussing classes in the upcoming videos. But for now, just remember that a module is a collection of functions, classes, and variables. And second thing to remember is that module always has a .py extension, the Python extension. Now, this module that we are going to create, we can reuse it in different programs. So instead of copy pasting like we did here, we can simply import the module. So let's see this in action, how to create a module. We want to create a module where we want to put all the functions related to currency conversion. So what we can do, we cannot create a Jupyter notebook for this. Why? Because Jupyter notebook has .ipynp as an extension. .ipynp. But a module should have .py extension. So if you're working on Jupyter notebook, then you have this option of creating a Python file. So let's go ahead and create this Python file. And I'm going to copy paste all these functions there. Let's also go ahead and call this module as currency conversion. Name of the module could be anything, just that it should have .py extension. So now this module, the currency underscore conversion, and the file or the program where we intend to use this module, both are in the same path, in the same directory. So by default, Python looks for modules in the same directory as your script or Jupyter notebook. But if your module is in different location, Python won't be able to find it if you tell it explicitly where to look at. So yes, your module can be sitting at a different location than your Jupyter notebook or your Python script, but then you have to explicitly mention where to find this module. So for now, let's assume that our currency conversion and the file where we want to use this module are both in the same path. So now let's see how we can go ahead and call this currency underscore conversion module. So let me go ahead and create another file where we'll use this currency underscore conversion module. I'm creating a new Jupyter notebook. Let me close the old one. And let's say in this module, let's just call it main.ipynp. I want to call this one first function, USD to euro. So first I need to import all the functions which are available inside this module. So for that, we have a import keyword. Then we'll give the name of the module that we want to import. So currency underscore conversion. You don't have to add .py, just currency underscore conversion. So when I say import currency underscore conversion, all the functions which are written in this module are now available in this main file. So let's say I want to call this particular function. So can I just go ahead and call it like this? Now that it is available, is this a valid way of calling it? The answer is no. It will again give you the name error. What's going on here? So whenever you are basically referencing a function which is in one of the modules that you have imported, you have to give the module name. So here the module name is currency underscore conversion, followed by dot, and then you give the name of the function that you want to call. So this is the syntax that you have to use. And now we were able to successfully call this USD to euro function. Let's try with another one. So maybe this one. Again, I have to give the entire name here of the module. And 39 is the output. And just like that, we have separated our logic into a reusable module. Now, there are different ways to import modules. We have seen already that you can import a module using the import keyword. So, import followed by the name of the module that you want to import. And then to call a function, when you are importing in this fashion, to call a function, you give the module name, dot operator, and the function name. So that's the first way of importing. Now, let's say you don't want to import everything, all the functions of this particular module. You know at the outset that, hey, I'm not going to need the first two functions. I am only interested in euro to GBP conversion. So this is the function that I'm going to use. So why load everything then? So how can I selectively load the functions that I'll need? So for that, we have from. So from, and then you specify which module you want to import from. So I'll say currency conversion import, and then you give the name of the function that you want to import. So I want to import euro to GBP. If you want to import more than two functions, you can just separate them by comma like this. So it will then import these two functions from currency underscore conversion. Let's for now import one function here. Now, another thing here is with Jupyter Notebook that if I just go ahead and run this line, this I've already executed. So that will create a confusion, right? We'll not be able to really understand what output we are seeing or what is happening here. So we need to go ahead and restart the kernel because as I mentioned, the output of the previous executions will be lingering around and we'll not be able to understand what's really going on. So we need to first restart the kernel, which you can do by clicking the kernel here and then selecting restart kernel and clear outputs of all cells. This will restart the kernel. It's like equivalent to starting from a blank slate. So now let's say we didn't import all the functions using this first method. So this is the first method. And when you're using this first method for importing a particular module, this is how you will call a function. So call a function if first method is used. Now, here we are just saying, okay, from currency underscore conversion, I just want to import this thing here. So let's just go ahead and run it. Now, to call this function, how do we go about doing it? Should I say currency underscore conversion dot euro to GBP like I did it in the first method? No, it will not work. So this is how you would have called euro to GBP function had you imported this module using the first method. But if you're importing it like this using from and import keyword, then you just give the function name. This is the syntax that you need to remember. Just the syntax name would suffice. So this is our second method of selectively importing the functions. Now, what if I now try to import or call this USD to Euro? Will that work? No. Why? Because when we use this syntax, we are saying that I just want to import this function and nothing else from currency underscore conversion module. So that means USD to Euro is not available in this program. So because it's not available, you cannot call it. Even if you try to do currency underscore conversion dot this will also give you the name error. What if we want to import all the functions and classes available in this particular module, currency underscore conversion? So then you can just give asterisk here. From currency underscore conversion, import asterisk. Asterisk means all, everything. Import everything. And let's just go ahead and run it. And then if you call this function, because we are importing everything, this works. Even if when you call this one euro to GBP, that should also work because we have imported everything. Now you might say that, okay, but this doesn't look very different from the first method. There also we were importing everything. Yeah, it is not very different. Only difference is how you would call a function. So when you say import and the module name, then to call the function in that module, you give the module name, then the dot operator, and then the function name. Here, when you're importing in this fashion, just give the function name and whatever input that function takes. Yeah, so those are the ways in which you can import a particular module. Now, here when we are importing a module, let's say using this first method, every time we have to call a function, we have to give the entire name, the complete name, currency underscore conversion. So we can use an alias instead. We can give it a shorter name. Let's just call it CC. So this is how you would do it. Import currency underscore conversion as CC. This name could be anything. But the idea for having this name is so that you don't have to every time type the entire word currency underscore conversion. You can use a more abbreviated version of your module. But this name could be anything. This alias could be anything. Any name would do here. So again, just to see the output of this without the past code coming in our way, let's just go ahead and restart the kernel and clear the outputs from the previous runs. So now we are starting off with a new slate. So now if you have to call the function, instead of giving currency underscore conversion, we use CC. And then tab, these are the three functions available, USD to Euro, let's say, 100. This is what we are getting. Let's try one more, go to GBP. This is what we are getting. What if we try doing this currency underscore conversion dot USD to Euro? No, So if you are using the alias, will this original module name work? The answer is no. It will give you name error. So if you are using an alias, then you have to stick to the alias. You cannot use the original name while calling the function. So this really comes handy when you are working with long module names. And that's all for this video. Now you know how to create and use modules in Python. But what if we have multiple modules which are related to each other? That's where packages come into picture. In the next video, we learn how to structure our code using packages. So you see you in the part 2. Thank you for watching.